Hey, Hickok 45 and son, here we are sitting on the vlog. Thought we'd wrap up 2014 by bending your ear a little bit. Whether you want to hear it or not, you've got to hear it. You've got to listen. You've got to watch. Okay, it's mandatory. But anyway, we've had a great year, don't you think, John?
Yeah, we have. It's been a big year for us.
Yeah. Lots of new viewers, lots of gullible people out there.
Yeah. So far, I don't know. I think they're onto us now, though.
I think you got a point. It's hard to fool people. What did Abe Lincoln say? You can fool some of the people some of the time, but you can't fool all the people some of the time, or all the people. I don't know, something like that.
You can't fool all the people all the time.
That's right. You can't fool all the people all the time.
Can't remember all the quotes all the time.
I know. That's right. Especially when the camera is rolling.
Yeah.
It reduces your IQ, what, about 25 points?
It really does. It really, it's like they talk about how if you ever get into a lethal situation, how you're going to be only a certain percentage of how you train, basically. So if you shoot at, let's say, if you're shooting as like at a 10, and if you're in a situation, your shooting is going to be like at a 7 or a 6 or something like that. That's basically how it is on camera.
Yeah, really, because it's the balloon sort of goes up when the camera starts rolling on a much lesser scale, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, especially when you're trying to remember things like that or do math, you know, like 3 times 6. Like normally I could answer that like that, but now I have to think about it, you know, in order to get the correct answer, 72. Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it has been a good year. We appreciate your all support, and we mainly want to come out here into the woods on the vlog and thank you again. We don't do it enough, probably. Try to do it often, but you know, you guys are the reason we keep doing this, because you keep watching, and that makes it much easier in great numbers, and it makes it much easier to continue the show.
It makes us also feel like we're not too insane.
That's right.
Because if we were just sitting out here in the woods and nobody was listening,
or 3 people, you know.
Yeah.
There you go again. See, 3 people.
that'd be kind of insane, really.
I think that would define insanity, right? Sitting in the woods talking to yourself, or even to the camera, if nobody's on the other side of it.
Yeah.
No, wait a minute. Nobody's on the other side.
Oh, that's true.
There will be.
Maybe we are just talking to a machine.
There will be. And that poor guy I told you all about in the radio show he uncovered the scam because he noticed the weather differences in the videos. he busted us, man. He just knew we were trying to convince everybody these were live videos. So he won't understand this, I guess. But anyway, yeah, it's been a good year. We'll straighten up here and get serious. You know, lots of new viewers. We're pleased that the more and more of you are finding us, and so we can continue to get the same questions.
We keep replacing the ones that are getting scared off.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly. Actually, that's what's amazing. You would think, because we get at this point, I don't know, 1,000, 1,100 new subscribers a day. You would think, and that's net. Now I could understand it if we got that many new subscribers every day, and we lost that many. Wouldn't you? Because you got to figure we're offending, or we're boring the same number of people that we're. Should I say intriguing? That's too strong.
No, we're not doing that. We're definitely not doing that.
But actually, yeah, there is net growth going on, which is pretty strange.
Well, maybe we're intriguing them not in the way that we would like to think. Maybe
right.
in the kind of like, oh man, these people are strange.
That's true, because you know there are some television shows. You've ever caught yourself watching one? You know it's going to reduce your IQ.
Yeah.
Just even watching 3 minutes.
But just out of curiosity, you just have to.
You're drawn to it just to see. Wow. I didn't know people could be that stupid.
There are even YouTube channels that I will watch just because I'm just curious at how strange it is, not because I actually get anything out of it.
Yeah, like 10 Outdoors 9 or Such.
That's a good example, yeah.
No, just kidding. We love Such 00. He's great. Yeah. Which we never criticize other YouTubers, if you hadn't noticed that. In fact, as I've said for years, I delete any comment about other YouTubers that's negative or that I think is going to get negative, because there's people that will come on and seize the moment. He blocked me. But anyway, let's get back on topic. What we wanted to do is just kind of talk to you about the last year, the great fun we've had, you know, testing all the various firearms, you know, and addicting new people, getting new people in here so we can work on them. And gosh, what else? We've gotten more support this year. You've noticed, I know, federal. This time last year, we were talking to them and other ammunition companies, but now, you know, gosh, for what, about 10 months or more, we've actually had that support. Bud's Gun Shop, lots of support from them. and then others, the people that check our guns in at Elks Outdoors. And I would list all the different gun shops that have given us guns, like the Gun Parlor or Maze Arms and Archery, Lyman, different companies. I would leave somebody out, but we've had lots of great support, which we desperately appreciate.
Yeah, I really do, because it really helps keep things moving.
Yeah, it does.
Keep new stuff in. And somebody was joking with me that you might know about how we're like the Google of guns. Zeke, it was Zeke from Talking Lead. And
Zeke, what does he know?
I know. And at first it kind of struck me as kind of odd, but then I thought about it and I was like, actually, I mean, that's kind of like what we're becoming almost, because you're able to get so many guns. We just don't realize it at the time, but you actually look back and our library has gotten to the point where it is almost a library of guns.
Yeah, of different firearms we've been able to obtain through T&E. Many of you have lent us firearms. Sometimes they come in as gifts and donations to the cause, and if it's from the right company, we accept those. And by right company, I mean not like SIG or Ruger or somebody, because we are gun reviewers of sorts. We're still not sure about that term, reviewers, but we want to stay objective.
And but we really rely on those kind gifts and the guns that people let us borrow. And so maybe in a way we're like Wikipedia more than Google.
Maybe so. I don't know. We don't know what we are when it comes right down to it.
Yeah.
I mean, really, from the very beginning, we don't know what we are. I know somebody was giving me a hard time in an earlier video, like about a 5-year-old video or 6-year-old video, said something about, you're not a gun reviewer or something. I made those statements, and I really don't feel like a gun reviewer. We'd like to give you our impressions of them. There are people who give more details about firearms. We do so much shooting. We feel like our role is to give you the basics and then let you know our opinion of the firearm and show you how it works in an unedited environment. I live in an unedited environment.
Yeah, so we figured it'd be appropriate to make videos also.
Really?
Because you don't get to edit your life, right?
Really?
That would be pretty awesome if you could do that.
Yeah, to
Someone should
rewind.
come out with that. Someone should come out with that.
That's next. I'm sure Google's working on that.
Yeah.
Or Microsoft.
Every reality is on an ever so slight delay, so that we can, if we say something, we can take it back. These days,
really.
the way people get offended so easily, that would actually be really beneficial. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but until that comes around, we'll probably keep our videos unedited, for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part.
Unless we have run into some kind of problem, where we look bad and we don't want you guys to know about it.
I say something stupid. That's the thing. We have the reputation or the history of doing unedited things, so we especially don't want to change that. Everybody, well, why? Why'd you do that? Or why did you cut there? We want you to know why we cut wherever it is. There's a reason, and if we come back in, we obviously explain it. It's not because the gun was right in the middle of a malfunction, we cut it. Oh, that didn't happen.
Yeah, if we changed that, it'd be like if you logged on to Reddit one day and it was just all kinds of just crazy colors and psychedelic looking images and graphics and all that kind of stuff. You wouldn't know what to think.
I think I'd prefer that, actually.
Really?
No, I know. I did. John and I disagree on that. I find Reddit. I've been there several times. I did what do they call it? An interview there.
That's right. AMA or something like that.
Yeah. And I know we got a lot of supporters over there, so I don't want to make fun of Reddit.
No, I like.
I just
Reddit.
find that there's like a 1980s version of a forum,
which I think is awesome.
But anyway, but yeah, we don't know what we are, but here we are.
Yeah, that's a good. I like that.
I don't know what YouTube is anymore. It is interesting though how YouTube has the secrets out.
It really is.
There's a lot of people now. It seems like everybody's putting things on YouTube. Professionals in other areas, professionals in the firearms industry, wherever they have found YouTube. And
a lot of the TV show guys, the guys that we used to watch on TV, a lot of them just have YouTube channels now because I think they've realized that it's so much better to just do it on your own and not have to worry about all the politics of being in the film industry and all that kind of stuff. Just do it on your own, hire your own crew, and do it yourself.
No gatekeeper.
Yeah, exactly.
Really. Of course, that means a couple of things. You can get some more real stuff, really cool stuff. And you can also get some really stupid stuff.
Yeah, and there still could
like
be
this.
And there still could be a gatekeeper. That's one thing I like to make people aware of, just so that they can better make their own decision. Because there are some YouTube channels, not really talking about guns, but there are YouTube channels, at least I know of. There's YouTube channels that basically are owned by major networks, and they look like they're just normal, but they actually are. They actually did go through a gatekeeper to get there. You know, so that the climate is changing. The secret is out about YouTube. So there's definitely a mix of genuine and mainstream stuff now on YouTube.
Yeah, genuine and mainstream versus
Right.
is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a crazy world out there, and it's getting defined as we move along, I guess. But we're going to keep doing what we've been doing, and the only thing that changes, I guess, with us as much as is the ease with which that we can get the things we want to get. Here's an example right here in my hands. You'll be seeing before too long. But the ease with which we can obtain things we know you want to see, and we know we want to try, and that's all good.
Yeah. And for example, tell people how much that gun costs.
I was going to save it for the video, but it's
okay.
This particular one is a $3,500 firearm.
Right, so it wouldn't really be very practical for us to go out and buy that gun just to show you guys. So we really appreciate the people
I didn't even
us
mention the Henry Rifle Company, or Repeating Rifle Company, whatever they call it now.
Yeah.
No, I didn't be a smart aleck. We're going to do a video really soon with this and show you what we think about it, right?
Yeah.
But it's an interesting world, the world of YouTube. But again, I still don't really consider us as YouTubers. That seems like a crazy thing to say, I guess. We are just a couple of schmoes who do shooting videos, firearms videos, and it happens to be that YouTube makes the most sense to get them to you. Now really, that's the way I look at it.
It's a lot more convenient from when we used to record all our videos on VHS back in the late 90s, and we would just have to sell them in gun shops.
Yeah, well, we still have to do that in Kentucky, but
that's true.
So, did you take the shipment up there this week?
Yeah,
hope so.
No, I think it did.
So when it comes to Kentucky,
they requested beta though, so that made it more difficult.
Well, so we're still having to put them on beta and VHS for the folks in Kentucky. We take them to Bowling Green,
and the radio show's on vinyl.
Yeah,
and actually, I think they only wanted 8-track in Kentucky.
Yeah. Sorry, folks, we love y'all again. If it weren't for Kentucky, there'd be no Kentucky windage. You really need that.
And what would we do when our sights are off? We would just have to not hit things.
I know.
That's basically all we would be able to do. So thanks, Kentucky.
You'd have thought that that Kentucky windage would have been invented by the folks in Alabama, or Tennessee.
Yeah. I wonder if it would have been different if they had invented it. If it would have been a different concept.
I don't know. We may start a comedy show, John. Anyway, we've had a good year, and again, getting cool firearms in to put through their paces. We've enjoyed it. We have to turn a lot of stuff down because it's just not the stuff we do, and a lot of companies and little odds and ends just almost on a daily basis. So we appreciate the folks that do send us things and do offer us things, and also a word about complimenting people that are willing to send us something, whether it's T&E, whether it's a donation, whatever it is, because of the nature of our videos. And I hope you all appreciate that. Even if a firearm has a little glitch here and there, whatever, that by the nature of the way we do things, I guess we make that firearm maybe look bad more so than it would normally, because maybe it's the only place where that firearm has looked bad in the media. Maybe there have been 3 or 4 magazine articles, big, slick, pretty magazine articles about that firearm, and even other YouTube videos on that firearm, and no one's ever seen it malfunction or any little idiosyncrasy about it or something that's not 100% desirable, but it shows up in our video because it's unedited. Well, we appreciate people sending these things because that's just the way it goes. Every gun's not perfect. Okay,
it is a risk to an extent.
But that's what I really the risk they're taking is to be complimented and to be appreciated. Okay?
And of course, we don't show things that are too extreme because we've had prime example the Ruger American. Because there's a difference between a gun being not a good gun and unreliable, and a gun being just plain broken. There's a big difference.
Yeah, big difference.
Like if you have a gun and it malfunctions like once every magazine, that gun is not unreliable. That gun is broken. So if we get something like that, a lot of times if it's really bad to the point where it couldn't even make the video, we'll just send it back And if they can't fix it, we won't even do a video on it. Or if it just keeps coming back bad, and there was one I remember where we went ahead and did a video, but you know, if it's really bad, it's like there's no point in doing the video because it doesn't really give you an authentic representation of what that gun does, because it's just a lemon. The gun is broken, you know.
Right. So we try to follow up, send it back, like with the Ruger, and the bolt was sticking.
Yeah.
And then we let you know in the video of when the one comes in that replaces it, you know, we let you know about the other one rather than do a video of a Ruger bolt gun not working.
Right.
Everybody knows Rugers work, you know. So
and then the feedback we get from from you guys really completes the circle, because we had some people saying, "Oh yeah, I have one and did that a little bit," or if we get feedback and everyone says, "No, I never heard of one doing that," you know, so it tells us something, and we can relay that back to you guys. So
yeah. So anyway, I don't know, we're rambling a lot, I guess, but that's what we do best. And if you're going to go out and sit in the woods, why not ramble? You know, that's my.
Plus, we can't afford a teleprompter. So.
Yeah, really. If you had to, and to memorize, we couldn't memorize all this, right?
Yeah, we don't have the capabilities to do that. So.
But we've had a lot of interesting firearms this year, 2014. Well, here's Henry's. We've had my gosh. And that's a cool thing, again, about the support we get and the number of viewers. You all being gullible enough to watch it helps us get almost anything we want. Not anything, but a lot of what we want. And we, of course, a lot of firearms that we just purchased, but like my 1863 Springfield. When I look back at the year, some of the firearms, whether they're firearms I purchased, K&E guns, whatever. I think of the 1863 actual Civil War rifle that was no doubt used in the Civil War, you know. Being able to bring that out, and finally got around to the 1851 Navy Colts. Had them for about 3 years, and we finally got those out and did a video with them, you know. And all the select fire firearms, suppressors, what else, John?
Yeah, that what was it? The Immaculate was the SWD upper or whatever that.
Yeah,
Immaculate. I mean, you know, it ended up being kind of a piece. You know, once I think what was it? We had some problems with the magazines, and reliability issues.
Mostly magazines,
but
I think.
as far as what that gun is intended to do, I actually kind of liked it. I thought it was kind of cool. It had a cool, just kind of rugged, old military thrown together kind of look to it, you know.
Yeah. And
it was heavy and solid, and it's kind of like a poor man's Uzi. Well, not kind of, it is basically a poor man's Uzi.
Yeah, really.
So that was neat. And then that Sphinx pistol, which we actually did that video before, I guess, for 2014, but we posted it.
The competition gun, yeah.
Yeah, man, that thing will make anybody feel like they're a competition shooter. It's unbelievable.
Really. I don't know. I remember it was, I think, 27 degrees the day we did that. It may have been January when we did that. I don't know. We didn't post it right away. We saved it for the summer months.
Yeah, that's right.
So you could enjoy the snow.
We like to do that. It's like our own little kind of personal joke. We like to have with you guys is we'll usually save a video from the winter and throw it up in the summer.
Yeah, and then you'll see, of course, videos this winter that were done, you know, in the summer. It just depends.
Yeah.
So it's given us more flexibility that I gave up one of my jobs, harassing little kids all day long, and so we're able to do more videos, different sorts of videos. So we never pass up a firearm. So we still want to post 2 or 3 a week.
And it's not a live show, so we figure
it's not live.
And usually the content of our videos, it's not really that time sensitive.
No, rarely.
I mean, as long as that gun exists, it's still going to be somewhat relevant. So.
Like this video, where you know it's almost 2015. We'll probably post this before summer of 2015.
That's right, yeah.
Man. But other guns, you know, we've, this year, what have we done? Some cool revolvers. I think we've had the Colt Single Actions out again. I always do that, the Uberti version of it, right? The clone, and double action revolvers. We've had several of those in. Single shots, the Lyman Sharps, that was cool.
That was a beautiful gun. Yeah.
Oh man, beautiful gun. Derringers, Bond Arms, there you go. That was cool. They sent us a couple of those. We still got one of those videos to post on the Bond Arms backup.
Oh, that's
We'll
right.
be seeing more of that. I felt like in the main video we did with the Snake Slayer, we gave the backup short shrift, so you'll see that again.
Yeah, what's great is perfect timing on those Bond Arms guns, because we're about to go to a SHOT Show.
Yeah.
Pretty soon, and there's a lot of snakes out in the desert, so we're good to go.
That's true. Yep, snakes, man,
well,
everywhere.
of course, we got the Governor. That might actually be a better snake gun.
That's right. Now, actually, I want to go to SHOT Show just to see the Bond Arms girl.
Oh
Yeah,
that's right.
You know, yeah, like everybody stops by the Bond Arms booth. If you've ever been to SHOT or NRA convention, you know why.
Yeah, of course, that's every booth. Every booth has has that.
And not some of them
pull
just
you
have
in.
crusty old ugly guys. You know.
Yeah, they kind of hide in the back, you know.
Yeah.
What's funny is whenever you ask the trade show models, and I've noticed a lot of other people have picked up on this because I see this happen a lot at those shows. They'll ask them questions about products and stuff like that, and it cracks me up. This one guy, we were about to leave, and one of those typical trade show model girls was holding, it was like a Sega, one of the Sega shotguns with the big drum magazine, just like holding it, trying to look cool and stuff. And guy walked by and asked her some kind of specific question about it.
Technical question.
And she was kind of like, let me, like, she was trying to hold it together, but she was panicking. It was funny.
Yeah. Of course, we don't care. She was pretty, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
that's the main thing.
Still
And then
funny.
we've had some interesting hybrid ARs this year, several ARs from different companies. We get about an AR a day offered us.
Yeah.
We actually turn some of those down, believe it or not. But if there's something about it that seems interesting or unique, different, you know, whatever it might be.
I like the A-Rack, and
Yeah, but some hybrids are just really interesting. That
Yeah.
A-Rack is pretty cool.
I'm really interested in the hybrid concept. It's interesting. I don't know if one has come along yet that is a good one, but I think eventually, if there isn't one yet, there will be one. I think that will take off at some point. It may not look like the ones that are here now, but
I think you're right. That interchangeable barrel concept is pretty interesting.
yeah,
It's I mean, it's not essential, but maybe it's a why not, especially if it becomes so
Yeah.
simple and it's a part of most of the firearms offered. You know, I think
especially 300 blackout.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like to me there would be certain situations for an extremely small percentage of the population to where it might be an advantage to have a 300 blackout barrel with a suppressor already attached to it,
yeah,
and it's just a matter of just changing that thing out, and then you can shoot suppressed and
yeah, really.
all that.
Especially if one comes along that where the barrels change out as easily and simply as that ARX 100 Beretta.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now that was pretty interesting. You know, if you
That
saw the
was.
video, I struggled putting it back in. I guess it was. I didn't have the bolt
Yeah.
back. I think it was. It's
But if you
typical.
practice with it,
like
I'm
we
sure.
said, the IQ drops when the camera's rolling.
yeah,
Actually, I don't know what my excuse is for when it's not rolling, but
yeah.
you know, that's a nice gun, fun shooter and everything. It's a little ungainly in a way, a little bit awkward, but it shows you what can be done. And so we'll probably see a lot more of that in the years ahead. Some really ergonomic firearms where you can pop barrels in and out. I expect. You know.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that will be kind of the next big push in firearms technology will be all the modular systems and all the parts being so quick. It's already almost here, you know, all the quick change parts, triggers, all that kind of stuff, where you basically can totally customize your gun. You can buy one reason people are starting to use terms, especially like weapon system or weapon platform and stuff like that, because that's exactly what guns are going to be in the future. It's like, what platform do you want? And they'll be kind of like a Ford Chevy kind of thing, and then you just buy the basic platform and you kind of make it your own basically with whatever parts you want to throw in it.
It's true. A lot of people will, I say us, I don't know about me, but a lot of people will stick with the old tried and true though. Is always, look at here, we got a firearm that was come up with in 1860
Yep.
and still selling, still being manufactured, and
These old common guns like this
That's
BZ
right.
58, actually it's a 2008, but it's 58 basically.
but that's the beauty of it. There's a firearm for everybody out there. Some people are more into the newest innovation, but they're like a toolbox of hammers and wrenches and things. There's some new innovative wrenches. Speaking of wrenches, aren't there? That you don't have to adjust, they adjust themselves, and some of those strange things, I don't even keep up with it. Some of you probably do. But the old wrenches work. You know, an old crescent wrench, I've got several my dad had, and I grab those usually. I mean, there's the new and then there's the old, but the old
Yeah.
works. With firearms, they still work. That's the cool thing about it.
That's what's neat about any kind of tool, where the tools may have progressed over time, but the job hasn't changed.
Yeah.
The job that those tools are intended to do has not changed. You know, so the old
right.
stuff still works. It's just the new stuff works a little better depending on your circumstances. In some cases, maybe not at all. I mean, really, for home defense, I mean, this is a pretty old gun. I mean, 1958, and they developed this thing. I mean, you know, really there's not a big advantage to something else over this
No.
for home defense. I mean, it's
No,
going to work.
not a lot.
But if you're packing it through the woods or something like that, or military, you
That's
know,
right.
context, it's like, oh, maybe it's a little heavy, maybe it's, you know, this, that, you know.
That's
Those
right. It's all
minor
those subtle,
things.
those
Yeah.
the discrete things. Lots of times to make their hey, this for home defense. What about this?
Oh yeah, it'd work.
1860.
Yeah.
So what? You know?
It would work.
Yeah. 15, 13. This I think holds 13 plus one maybe. But you know, in 1860, the 44 rimfire, I believe they held 15 or 16. So hey, that goes back a ways. You're
Yeah.
talking 1958. I'm talking 1860.
That's right. Yeah.
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 But
That's
yeah.
about as back as you'd want to go, though.
That's
for
true.
home
We don't want to go
defense.
back to single shot. Probably.
Yeah.
Although, you know, beats nothing, beats a stick, right?
It does.
But so yeah, we've had a great year, and again, much of it's attributed to you all and your support. Lots of different firearms, and we expect to be able to test and show you, demonstrate lots of firearms, you know, this year, the year 2015, and get out some old favorites often, okay? Because, you know, I still enjoy, as you know, man, Model 29. You know, every now and then when I'm digging around the safe, I run it. Well, not every now and then, almost every day, I run across something. Well, I need to get that thing out and shoot it. We haven't shot that for a while, or haven't tried that for a while. And I know that you all, what I'm really impressed with is that people actually like revolvers, you know, and they might be thought of as old school, but a lot of people are still buying them and enjoying them. They're just a lot of fun. So
Yeah, really old people are still
a
buying.
lot, yeah, a lot of old people. Actually, young
I'm just
people.
kidding. I like revolvers, actually.
Yeah, they're pretty cool, but I don't know. I guess we'll wrap this up one day. But we hope you're learning something from what we're doing, because I still feel like the main thrust of what we do, even though we're silly at times, and well, I guess we're just silly at times. But most of what we do, I was trying to think of something else. We are. We're thinking education. You know,
Yeah.
trying to show you something about a firearm, maybe nothing profound, but how a gun works, and then throw in some added information about it, you know, in the videos. So
I've always felt like from the beginning, kind of one of our main things
Yeah.
was, other than safety and fight for our gun rights, we just don't take it so serious. You know, that's
Yeah.
the thing. You know, we try to keep it very lighthearted and stuff like that. We try to do the best we can to not give you wrong or bad information.
Yeah.
You know, but guns they're just fun. You
Yeah.
know, you don't. You know, they have their time and place to be a very serious thing, but they don't always have to be. You know, they don't always have to be a serious thing. Sometimes they're fun. As long as you respect safety, that is always serious. But it's like riding a motorcycle, for example. Motorcycle riding is fun, but you always have in the background the serious side of it, of being careful. And same thing with guns, but mostly it's just fun.
Yeah, and I don't think we even have to try that, you know, because it just comes natural to both of us,
Yeah.
because we've enjoyed firearms all of John's life and mine, pretty
Yeah.
much.
I didn't get into it from a tactical standpoint. You know, I got into it just from these are fun because of growing up with you. You know.
Yeah. Oh, did you grow up with me?
Yeah,
That's right.
I'm not sure how that happened. We just happened to grow up in the same
That's
area.
right.
So.
That's right. The same area, right here in these trees.
Same house. That's weird.
That's what's funny. Yeah, I remember walking John right through here where we're sitting, having to hold his hand. He was so little, and it's wild when you think about how big he's gotten, and ugly, and all the stuff we do. But yeah, he grew up right here. I was fortunate enough in my childhood to be on a farm part of the time, and of course wanted to get back to it as soon as I could, or my family having a farm or land that we could go to, one or the other, most of the time after I was about 10 or 12. But John's grown up right here. You know, he's had this 40 acres of trees and hills and a shooting range. So I'd really be crazy if I grew up on a shooting range, I guess.
Yeah.
But pretty interesting. So anyway, we hope you've learned some stuff, and you know, we try to have fun, but you know, really advocate having the right attitude about firearms, as you know already if you watch your videos. And when I say the right attitude, that sounds maybe arrogant or judgmental, but I think there is kind of a right attitude, at least from my perspective and probably John's. And that attitude means that there's nothing macho about these things. If you've seen the new shooter video, we go into that and talk about some of those things. We really want to make sure that the young people, the new shooters, they don't have to be too young, I guess, but just getting into firearms, they're not coming into it because, oh, got me a gun.
Yeah.
Man, I'm powerful now. You know, there's nothing macho about these things.
like be mindful of your ego when it comes to firearms, because it's easy for our ego to get all excited and go, oh, guns, and just get all jacked up, but we have to be more aware and mindful of our egos, and remind ourselves that they're tools to be respected, and they're not just because we have this thing that's capable of things doesn't mean that we're somehow a better person, or that we have to intimidate people or act like or play the part of a tough guy, or all this kind of stuff. I've always found it interesting. Anytime I've ever met someone who was the real deal, they were whatever. I don't think I've ever met a Navy SEAL, but I met a guy that was a Green Beret one time, a guy that was like 5th Group Special Forces. Anytime I've met people like that, you would never really know it, other than they might kind of look the part, muscular and stuff like that, but they're always extremely low key, all that kind of stuff, because the ones who have actually done it, they don't need to prove anything. Like they have been humbled. That's the thing. They might be really tough by like our perspective, but when they're actually out there, they've been humbled. They realize how tough it is and how easy it is to get killed, no matter how much training you have. I think I've always kind of looked at them and said, oh, okay, well, if they can be humble, then so can I. So.
Right, and I think that's a universal truth. The people who actually know the most, whether it's a computer expert or anybody else, or a firearms expert, or like you say, a warrior, a real warrior.
Yeah.
They don't wear it on their sleeves. They might goof around occasionally, but they're the kind of person you almost have to ask them about it. They're not going to lead with that. You all know that if you've been a student of human nature, at all. So the really tough people, you find out the hard way, right? You're making the mistake of pushing them around.
Yeah, and the only reason I almost really care, I mean, do what you want, but the thing is, it hurts our fight, like, to get to have this.
Yeah.
Like, if enough people acted like these people that I'm talking about to not be, if enough people acted like that, then I might not even get to have this and be free of any type of prosecution.
And I've talked about it almost every radio show, I think, just about. It's representing the firearms community, the culture, whatever, in the proper way, as a sensible person, because almost all of you are, and we know that. We're preaching or talking to the choir here, I hope, and I know we are. But there are people, young folks, and there are some people who are not totally in touch with themselves out there. We know that, right? But especially, I think of young people. You're a teenager, and you're just getting into firearms, and you've been playing the video games, and you see all these cool guns, and you're using them and everything, and you're blowing people away in the video games, all that kind of thing. You realize that's a video game, of course, and just when you get to the real thing, and you're on a shooting range, or you're in a gun shop, wherever, and you're shopping for these things, and you start picking up the real thing, you know the difference, and we're just encouraging everybody to make sure we know the difference, and in some cases, we want to be genuine, we want to be ourselves. There really are times, don't you agree, John, when you almost have to decelerate a little bit, some enthusiasm, something you'd like to say, like you might think that'd be cool, that you might say around your buddies or something. I'm going to tell you, I can't get them to fix my flat tire the way I'm going to take my gun down there and make them fix that flat tire right, or something. Even joking around.
Some people might not know that you're joking. So
you can't do stuff like that, but especially in today's environment. So we want to be sure that we're not only being really responsible in every way, that we're also aware of the perception. I mean, we have to be aware of that, how we're perceived. I've talked about that a lot in the radio shows. And
it's easy for that to become, the ego thing to become a slippery slope, because when you walk into a gun shop, and I've caught myself doing this a million times, you walk into a gun shop, and you meet somebody in there who has that, like I'm talking about, that inflated ego. Your ego is just dumb, so it goes, oh, okay, well, if he's going to be like that, then I got to be like that too. And without even realizing, all of a sudden now you're trying to match him without even knowing that you're doing it. And then it becomes this thing, and if you're not aware that that's a thing that can happen, then you end up falling into being like one of those tough guys,
that competition, that male thing.
Exactly. It's natural. It's just part of who we are. But if you're mindful of it and aware that it is what it is, then you can avoid it.
I guess what we're both saying is that tough guy attitude. It's always been a turn off for me. It really has, because the real tough gues don't show it usually.
If they don't need it, then neither do we. That's the way I look at it.
We definitely don't want that associated with the firearms. That's where. So anyway, we're kind of preaching to you, but I feel like it's our role in a lot of ways. First mission basically is the Second Amendment. We get right down to it, and so this all falls under that. Everything we do, in a way, it falls under that huge umbrella of the Second Amendment and gun rights. Getting as many people interested in firearms and in the right way. It's the best medicine to maintain and keep our gun rights protected. As I said before, if the more people that have firearms and appreciate them, enjoy them, the less problem we're going to have from anti-gunners. So I don't know what else we can kind of bore you with out here in the woods. What
I'm
else?
sure there's a lot more things actually, but we should probably save it for maybe another one.
Hey, what we could do? We could just stand here or sit here and
silence.
Stare at them for about 30 minutes and let them know we're going to reveal some really interesting secret at the end of that 30 minutes. So wait a minute, they wouldn't have to watch, would they? They could just scroll through.
Yeah.
See,
plus we don't have any secrets to tell them.
That's the other problem. Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, anyway, like we said, the IQ drops when the camera rolls, and we just wanted to prove that. But mainly, we want to come out here and sit in the woods and thank you again for your support and just yak at you about some things. A little bit, I guess you get a little behind the scenes when we do this, and if we say something doesn't make sense, just understand that's just us.
And tell you for probably like the 150th time that we're not going to change how we're doing it.
Yeah,
we probably say that every time. Maybe we can stop saying it. Maybe they get it now, I think.
Yeah, we're never going to make sense, so don't expect that, right? But we appreciate your support. We should appreciate the support from the gun companies that help us and everybody else. Again, we're careful about where we take support because we want to remain unbiased, and we tell you what we're doing. We tell you where. I see this question almost every couple of days, I think, somewhere. Where do you get those guns? Do you buy all your guns? Of course, they're new people because we tell you fairly often, I think, and we tell you in every video, at least every main video, where the gun came from. Is it a T&E gun, which means it has to go back if it's a T&E, unless I buy it after we test it and evaluate it.
Right.
And then, or if it's a donation. So you can hate us if you want to, but at least you know what's going on. Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, we just try to tell you what's going on so that you make your own decision.
Yeah, we put the dog to sleep, so we'll introduce him later. Okay. So anyway, I think we ought to shut up and let him get back to football. Okay. Because it's that season. We appreciate you guys. You'll see some more videos posted. You'll see some videos we did a month or two ago. Because we're not going to get out in January. It's too cold, right?
That's right.
To do a video.
Yeah. We don't have any good stuff coming up, though. I know that's what you're supposed to say in this type of situation, but no, it gets worse.
Yeah. Now, we appreciate you all, and we'll shut up. Life is good.